guys, welcome back to our channel. Just wanted to say a big thank you very much before we start this video to everybody who watched our Persija versus Sleman video. We got about 28,000 views on that video, which is absolutely amazing. I can't believe we've managed to get so many views on one video. We never dreamed of getting anything like that, so we really do appreciate everyone who watched the video, and also to everyone who subscribed as well. We managed to get about 250 extra subscribers for that video, so again, a huge thank you to everyone who subscribed to our channel. It seemed like you guys really enjoyed the Persija videos, so we decided we're going to make a few more of those for you guys. It seems like, yeah, everyone really liked those, so yeah, we're definitely going to make more Persija content for you guys in the coming months. So yeah, if there's any videos you would like us to make about Persija or about Indonesian football or anything like that, please leave a comment down in the comments section for us as well. Another thing, if anyone needs Indonesian subtitles, there will be a short tutorial at the start of this video, so please go back to the start of this video and you can check out our tutorial there for Indonesian subtitles if your English isn't the best. Okay, so I think the topic we're going to be talking about today is Persija's transfer business so far this summer. They've had a couple of players come in, they've had a couple of players officially leave. There's lots of different rumours and talk about who they're going to sign, who might be leaving the club. So we're going to go through a few different bits of information there and talk about what's happened so far and what's rumoured to be happening in the coming weeks and months between now and the start of the 2023 and the 2024 season. Okay, so the first player we're going to talk about today is Rizky Ridho. He was, I think, the first player they signed a few weeks ago, shortly after the season had finished. They've signed him from Persija. He's a young defender. He's 21 years old. He's made a bunch of appearances for Persija over the last few seasons. He made one appearance 2 seasons ago, and then he made 18 appearances in 21-22, and then 19 appearances in 22-23, scoring 3 goals in that time. So yeah, he's a very young defender. He's got a lot of room to improve. He's going to fit nicely, I think, into Persija's defence, which is already very good, and adding him into that group I think will really improve things as well. So he's a very young, exciting defender that I think Persija fans can feel very pleased about, and yeah, should really add something to their defensive at the back. Another player they've also brought in as well is, again, apologies if I've said his name wrong, is Akbar Arjunsyah. Apologies if I said that wrong. I think he's been signed from Gresik. Again, he's another young player. I did like his introduction video where he was dancing around from left to right. It was very, very interesting. But yeah, he's another young player that they've signed. Looks to be, again, fitting in with the sort of mantra of what Persija are going for next season. They're both 21 years old. They're 2 new signings that they've brought in. These 2 lads. They're both defensive players. So how they fit around with, like I said, Mohamed Ferrari, who's only 19, and Dika, who's only 23, Kadale, of course, who's a bit older at 36, of course, older than me, Dandy Maulana as well. So they've got a lot of different players to select in defence next season, which is kind of interesting given that their defence was the best, I believe I'm right in saying it was the best in Liga 1 last season. They only conceded 27 goals. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of competition for places in that back three that Thomas Doll wants to play by the looks of it. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of competition for those spots, and it's going to be interesting to see which of those players get game time and which of them maybe don't. Of course, there have been a couple of player departures as well, officially from Persija over this last few weeks. One of them has been Rahmat Nico, or Nico Rahmat. I never quite sure how to, which way round to put the names here in Indonesia. He was signed from Cairo United in January of this year, and then after only a few months at the club, Persija decided that they were going to officially release him. So yeah, it's been a bit of a disappointing signing for them, clearly, that he only lasted a few months before they decided that they wanted to move on from him, and decided not to renew him and bring him back for next season. He'd only made a couple of appearances, so it seemed like he wasn't maybe a great fit for Persija, and they decided with players like Rizky Ridho and Akbar Arjunsyah that they weren't going to bring him back for next season. Another player they decided to move on from was Ahmad Birrul Walid Dane, yeah, some difficult Indonesian names. They decided to move on from him as well. Again, he'd only made 6 appearances for Persija this season, or last season, and they decided that, again, they weren't going to keep him around with probably the signings they've made already, that there wasn't going to be enough space for those players. They'd only made 8 appearances combined between them, so they decided with all the other players they've got, the likes of Dandy Maulana, as I said, Kadela, Furza Ndika, Rio Fafmi, and the 2 new lads, that there wasn't going to be any space for those 2 players, so they decided to not renew their contracts and let them leave this summer. So yeah, there's 2 players that have officially left Persija so far. Of course, the biggest thing to talk about, of course, with Persija players that might be leaving is, of course, their foreign players. There's been lots of rumours about the fact that they're potentially looking to move on from, firstly, from Hanno Behrens. He was signed from a German club last summer. He had a good start to the season. He scored a number of goals for Persija, but then unfortunately some injury and health issues caused him to miss a lot of games. He then returned to Germany for health reasons to try and get some sort of diagnosis on why he was struggling health-wise here. That was reported in the news that he had lost weight and he wasn't feeling great, he wasn't enjoying the food here, so it seems like, unfortunately, that he wasn't able to take to Indonesian cuisine, Indonesian culture potentially. I don't know if it was other factors as well, maybe a little bit of homesickness for him perhaps, because of course moving from Germany all the way over to Indonesia is not always going to be an easy transition, so he struggled here health-wise. Hopefully he gets better, but it does sound like Thomas Dahl is ready to move on from Hanno Behrens. Another player they're looking to potentially move on is Michael Kremčić. He's, as you probably saw in our Sleman video, he scored a hat-trick in that game, so he really ended the season well. But unfortunately, he had his own issues. He had a few fitness issues as well, and he also got into a bit of disciplinary trouble for spitting at an opponent and getting a 6-game suspension from the PSSC league officials. So he missed a number of games, unfortunately, some forced, some unenforced. So yeah, unfortunately, he wasn't able to get on the pitch as much as he would like, and 10 goals is not a bad total, but when you look at some of the goals that other players around Liga 1 scored, you look at the goals that PSM Makassar were able to get from their foreign imports. They look at Persib Bandung, the goals they were able to get from their foreign imports. Unfortunately, Kremčić's involvement wasn't perhaps as much as I think a lot of Persija fans would have hoped for, and clearly Thomas Dahl was not impressed either, so they decide, I think it looks like, it's not been officially confirmed with those 2 players, but it looks like they both will be moving on this summer. Another player that looks like they're going to move on from is their Asian import, Yusuf Halal. He, big tall striker, I noticed him in the Rans Nusantara game. He really seemed to stand out, he seemed like a good player, but again, he's another player that really seemed to struggle with injuries this season. It seems like they're not really happy with his performance. Maybe there's other factors as well. They feel like they can get better players in this summer, so they decided that they're going to basically move on from him this summer and not bring him back either. So at the moment, the only foreign import player that they're looking to keep around is Andrzej Kadela, the experienced centre half. So yeah, he looks like the only player that they've definitely confirmed to bring back next season. Of course, we still don't even know how many foreign import players Persija will be able to have next season. There's been lots of talk in Liga 1 between PSSE and the clubs about how many foreign import players will be allowed in Liga 1 next season. There's been a lot of talk. At the moment, it's 3 foreign imports plus an Asian import, and there's been talk of it going up to 5 foreign imports, 4 foreign imports. We don't know the exact number just yet, so if it does go up to 4 or 5 foreign imports, that will potentially open the door for more players to be signed by Persija. But at the moment, the only player confirmed to be returning for next season is Kadela, and that does leave at least 2 European or non-Asian spots and 1 Asian spot to be filled. Of course, there's been lots of rumours about who Persija are potentially interested in. They've been linked to a number of different players over the last few weeks. Some of them maybe just, again, fake rumours, maybe some of them were real and they lost out to those players, maybe they're still working on bringing some of those players in. We will talk about a couple of those players now. The first one I can think of that they were linked to was Jonathan Bustos. He was, I can't remember exactly which team he was with, might have been Sleman, I forget, I'm not sure. But yeah, Jonathan Bustos, 28-year-old attacking midfielder, they were heavily linked to him, and there was a rumour that he was going to be coming to Persija. He ultimately signed for Sleman. It seems like Sleman, after their really poor season, have really decided that they're going to throw a lot of money trying to improve next season. And yeah, I don't know how interested Persija were in Jonathan Bustos, but it sounds like they missed out on him to Sleman, which is I'm sure disappointing for Persija, given they're one of the biggest clubs in Liga 1, and I'm sure they would have been hoping to pull him in, but unfortunately he decided to sign for Sleman instead. Another player they are heavily linked to at the moment is Rio Matsumura, I believe his name is. Apologies if I've said his name wrong. He's another attacking midfielder. I think he was on loan from a Thai club at Persis Solo last season, and there's lots of rumours going around at this point in time when I'm recording this video that he is potentially on his way into Persija. It's all apparently confirmed. I might do another video on him if it is ever confirmed in the next few days, but it sounds like he might be one of the first players to be one of the first big name players to be signed by Persija. He might well be coming in, and he'll be, I'm assuming, a Hanno Behrens replacement. He will be the foreign Asian player to be signed, so he hopefully can add something to Persija's attack for next season. So we will talk about that one in a little bit more detail if he does sign, but for now it does sound like Rio Matsumura will be coming into Persija in the next few days, hopefully to be confirmed. Persija also are heavily linked with Thomas Rogic. He's actually played in the Scottish League, not far from my hometown in the UK. He was heavily linked with, I think he's playing for West Bromwich Albion in the English Championship, the second division in the English Football League. He was heavily linked with Persija last season, didn't move to Indonesia, but he's linked again this season, so we'll have to wait and see if anything comes of that. But it sounds like Thomas Rogic is a rumoured signing for Persija next season. Another player they've been linked to is a Turkish striker by the name of Sinan Bakis. Not sure about how to pronounce his name. 29-year-old striker, currently playing in Europe. He's another player that they've been linked to as well. Seems like quite a tall striker, so we'll have to wait and see if he's a player that they decide to bring in as well. Another player they've been heavily linked to as well is a German by the name of, I think it's German, it might be Swiss, no, he's German, sorry, by the name of Fabian Schleisen-Senna. Yeah, some very difficult names today. Yeah, they've been heavily linked with him as well, 28 years old, attacking player that they're rumoured to be signing as well. Rumours that he's signed a 3-year deal, we'll have to wait and see on that one, but yeah, he's another player that they've been linked to bringing in as well to bring in to improve their attack for next season. Okay, and I think that about finishes us for today on this video then. So yeah, what do you think about all these Persija moves? Are you happy with the signings of Rizky Ridho and Akbar Arjunsyah? Are you excited that maybe Rio Matsumura is potentially coming into the club? Who do you think Persija should sign? Is there any players that you think they should sign? Please leave a link down, leave a comment down below, and I will hopefully try and reply to you to see what you think. So yeah, as ever guys, thank you very much for watching. Please keep subscribing and sharing all the videos. It really does help us, and we really do appreciate all your support. So yeah, we will catch you guys on the next video.